Hare Krishna. So, warm welcome to all the devotees for this satsang program, and I'm very grateful to the devotees, of Saudi who always give me an opportunity to come here and perform some seva. Thank you for this opportunity. I certainly don't deserve this opportunity, and what to speak of the praise that Prabhuji gave. Very materialistic, stuck completely in materialistic activities. But by the grace of Guru and the grace of all the Vaishnavas, somehow I do get opportunities to preach like this, and I'm very grateful to for you for giving me this opportunity. So today I'm going to speak about a slightly different topic. This is about the move from struggle to surrender. Okay, so it's about right now Krishna consciousness. When we start, Krishna consciousness may seem like a big struggle for many of us. It seems like this is like a never-ending struggle. When will we ever come to a point when Krishna consciousness is easy? It is full of rasa, and we are able to very effortlessly remember Krishna. So we're all wondering about this. When will this happen? So I attended a seminar given by His Grace Braj Bihari Prabhu, and some of these points he had covered. In that one of the things he mentioned was, somebody asked Jananivas Prabhu. Okay, everyone knows Jananivas Prabhu from Mayapur. So he asked Jananivas Prabhu that how to become a pure devotee. How to become pure devotee. So Jananivas Prabhu asked him, why do you want to become pure devotee? Right. So it's a very fundamental thought for all of us, no? That we also somewhere have this little bit tinge in our heart. Yeah, I want to become a pure devotee. I'm not a pure devotee. I know I'm not a pure devotee. That's like there is no doubt in anyone's mind about that. We are not pure devotees. So then we have an aspiration that like to become a pure devotee. We don't know what a pure devotee means. We really don't even know what it means, but we want to become pure devotee. So this person is asking how to become a pure devotee. So Jananivas Prabhu, who's like as close as you can get to a pure devotee in the material world, he is saying that why do you want to become a pure devotee? Why don't you just offer yourself to Krishna, completely to Krishna, in whatever situation you are in? How does it matter if you are pure or you are an impure devotee? Whatever situation you are in at this moment, can you offer yourself to Krishna completely? What is the meaning of offering oneself to Krishna? It means that, Manasa Deho Geho Jo Kichu More. Arpilu Tuva Pade Nand Kishore. Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings this bhajan that Manasa Deho Geho. That whatever I have, my mind, my body, my possessions, my family, whatever is there, Arpilu Tua Pade Nand Kishore. That means this is yours, my Lord. This is yours. I am yours. My family is yours. You deal with us as you find appropriate. Whatever situation we are in, if we have that consciousness, then it doesn't matter if you are a pure devotee or not pure devotee. You are acting on the direction of Krishna, and that is surrender, right? We are at that point where right now we are all struggling, and we want to get to the point where we are surrendered pure devotees. This is the way to do it, right? And you know when we are following the process of bhakti, okay, uh, uh, we say this prayer, we say this verse from which Rupa Goswami quotes, which is uh, Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, Vismartavya na Jatuchit, right? And that always remember the Lord, always remember Lord Vishnu, remember Lord Krishna, and never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And this is the primary principle in bhakti. Everything else is kinkara compared to this. This is all, all the other things are uh, subordinate to this main principle to always remember Krishna. Now the question is, In our bhakti, whatever processes we are following in bhakti, we may be chanting Hare Krishna, we may be reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, we may be worshipping deities, we may be cooking bhoga for deities, we may be preaching, we may be distributing books, we may be doing so many activities. The big question for us is, are we remembering Krishna? Right? And this is a tough question. It's not a nice question. Nobody would like to be asked this question, right? If someone asks you, Prabhu, Mataji, you're chanting Hare Krishna. How many times did you remember Krishna while chanting? And everyone look at each other. Oh, we're supposed to remember Krishna also. We are so stuck up in our activities, just doing the activities of Krishna consciousness. We don't even make an effort, right? We don't even that activity we don't do with effort. So, I'm just going to change my background and I'm going to show you a different picture now. You're seeing Radha Gopinath, but I'll show you a different picture now. Okay, and I want all of you to concentrate on this picture. You're able to see this picture? Maybe 1 minute.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Yes. We can see.
So if you're able to see this picture is what I'm going to discuss today. Okay, this is going to be the focus of my discussion, where I'll be talking about this effort zone versus remembrance zone. So this is like a quadrant, So it starts from the no effort, okay, where somebody is in the process of bhakti, not making efforts to remember Krishna, not making efforts to deepen sadhana, not making efforts to to do anything properly. They're just flowing with the tide. Okay, so there is this category, and the other category on the right side is those who are making high efforts, who may be working very hard in bhakti, maybe doing a lot of things. Okay, so there is no effort, and there is low effort and there is high effort, and then there is the remember Krishna and do not remember Krishna. So if you see, those who do not remember Krishna or do not depend on Krishna, and there is the category of devotees who remember Krishna and depend on Krishna. So now, based on these four things, right, whether you are making effort in bhakti or you're not making effort, or you remember or depend on Krishna, or you don't remember or depend on Krishna. Based on this, there are four types of devotees that are possible, right? So we'll try and discuss and try to understand where do we stand in this scheme of things, right? Where do we stand? How are we placed in our bhakti? Where do we want to reach ultimately amongst these four types of devotees, right? Category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4. So category 1 is one who is not making much effort to remember Krishna and is not remembering Krishna. He's there in bhakti, he or she is there in bhakti. They may be chanting 16 rounds. They may be preaching. They may be following four regulative principles. Everything is there, but no remembrance of Krishna. Okay. The second category are those who are trying hard. Who may be doing many services in bhakti, a lot of things, very visible, but still no remembrance of Krishna. Third category are those who are trying hard and have remembrance of Krishna. And fourth category are those who don't have to try very hard, but they have remembrance of Krishna. Okay, so these are the four categories. We'll try and discuss about these four categories as we go along. Okay, so where do we think majority of our devotees, in which zone are they? Zone 1, 2, 3, 4. Majority of Hare Krishna devotees, which zone do we belong to? Anybody? Which zone do we belong to? Zone 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do you think we all lie, most of us?
Remembering occasionally and not always means sometimes remembering. Sometimes remembering and sometimes not remembering. Once not that we are remembering him 24 hours, but yes, we are remembering also. So
Yeah, so those who are sincere sadhakas, okay, who are sincere sadhakas, those who are sadhakas and sincere sadhakas are generally in the category 1 or 2, zone 1 or 2, okay. Zone 1 are those, as I said, those devotees who may be in the process of bhakti, who are doing the activities, just a little bit they're doing, but they're not really trying hard to remember Krishna. They're not making an effort to enhance, elevate their consciousness. They're not making a conscious effort to reduce their anarthas, to reduce their useless activities, their wasteful activities, which are not, connected to Krishna. They're not making any such effort. Okay, they are category 1. And this no effort zone, okay, the zone of devotees who are in the no effort zone, and no effort and no remembrance also. So sometimes, devotees have this concept that how will we go back to Godhead? Oh, I will just hold on to Prabhupada's dhoti, right? Just hold on to Gurudev's dhoti, and Prabhupada will take me back to Godhead. Srila Gurudev will take me back to Godhead. I will not do anything to deserve it. I will not make the efforts that are needed to deserve that mercy of Gurudev, of Srila Prabhupada. I will just have the faith. Oh, I will have faith in Prabhupada's dhoti. I'll hold on to Prabhupada's lotus feet and I'll go back to God. Or there are people who say we'll just eat our way back to Godhead. So this is that no effort zone. While effort zone is about struggling, right? That you are struggling. Many of us are in zone 2, where we are trying to make some effort. But in that effort, we are doing all our activities. And okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah, so the in the effort zone, we're trying to put effort or intensity into all our activities of bhakti, right? Whether it is how we are chanting, how we read books, how we make offerings at our home or in the temple deities, some effort is going, some genuine effort is going in from the devotee to try to remember Krishna, to to intensify, to act in such a way that my devotional activity is pleasing to Krishna. I remember, I was hearing one small talk by Radhesham Prabhu. Everyone knows Radhesham Prabhu. Radhesham Prabhu is one of the temple presidents of NVCC Pune. Pune ISKCON Temple. So Radhesham Prabhu, in one Bhagavatam class in our temple, he was saying that somebody asked him that Prabhuji, same kind of question, right? This one was how to become pure devotee. Someone asked him that Prabhuji, how to go back to Godhead? How will we go back to Godhead? So Radhesham Prabhu gave a beautiful answer. He said, Prabhuji, you see, it is not our business to go back to Godhead. It is not our headache. It's not our problem. He said, what should we be in? What should we be focusing on? He said, we as devotees, we need to be focusing on doing our devotional activities with all sincerity, such that Krishna, Gurudev, and the Vaishnavas are pleased. Our job description, our whole existence as Vaishnavas is only for this purpose. That let me do whatever activities I am doing. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhosi, dadasi, yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, whatever you're accepting, whatever sacrifices you're making, whatever you're doing, mad arpanam, do it for Krishna, for the pleasure of Guru, pleasure of Krishna, pleasure of Vaishnavas. When we are doing certain activities, we can question ourselves, no, that why am I doing this? How am I doing this? The way I'm chanting right now, is this going to, if Gurudev was sitting right in front of me, would I be chanting like this? Would my chanting be pleasing to my Gurudev? If my God brothers, God sisters, or other Vaishnavas are sitting here in front of me, would I be chanting like this? See, we are, in one sense, even Vaishnavas, we become like atheists. it's a little hard hitting, but in one sense, we become like atheists, Because we only accept the physical presence of Gurudev or Vaishnavas. When we are chanting in association of Vaishnavas, we chant nicely. But when we are chanting on our own, we don't chant properly. We don't put our full effort. What is that saying? That's saying that you don't accept that Abhinatva Nama Namini. You don't accept that Krishna and his name are non-different. You're differentiating. And because you are differentiating, you are saying that this is holy name, this is okay, and you're not accepting Krishna is also there in front of you. Doesn't need that Vaishnavas have to be there, or Gurudev has to sit in front of you for you to chant properly. Krishna is there, Supreme Lord is there. No, why aren't you chanting properly? If you aren't, that means you're not having full faith in the holy name. Therefore, our job, Radheshyam Prabhu was saying, our job as Vaishnavas is not to worry about going back to Godhead. Like Janani Prabhu said, our job is not to worry about becoming pure devotee. Our job is to do what devotional activities we are doing with full intensity. When you're doing, do it properly. Do it with full intensity, such that right now, if Guru Maharaj was there, Vaishnavas were there, Krishna is always there, he will be pleased by my service. He'll be pleased. This is my main service to my Guru. If you have a Guru, what seva you will do for Guru? What great thing you're going to do for him, right? It'll be minuscule among millions of ISKCON devotees. Maybe 10, 15, 20 will be doing something that is like really significant service for Guru Maharaj. The rest of us are just doing mainly our chanting, following correlative principles, and little bit preaching here or there. That's it, right? What more we can do? But our main service is to chant properly. So if we do that nicely, then Radheshyam Prabhu was saying, you will not have to worry about going back to Godhead. Now that becomes the problem of Guru Maharaj and Krishna. It is their headache, because you are doing your service for Krishna, for his pleasure, and you're doing it most sincerely. After that, it becomes the Lord's headache of how to take you back to Godhead. It becomes my headache. It is his pleasure to take you back to God. It is Guru Maharaj's pleasure to take you back to God. Right? So we don't have to worry about that. It will happen. But we have to be sincere in what sadhana we are doing. Whatever we're doing, do it nicely. So we should think, right, that which zone out of these 4 zones, which zone am I, situated in right now? And naturally situated in my spiritual practice, right? I mean, what do I default to? Just left to yourself. I remember once one devotee was saying in a lecture that if you want to know what is the level of your consciousness, okay, again a scary thought. He said, if you want to know the level of your consciousness, just think, just when you're alone at home, there is nobody at home. Okay, there is nobody at home. Where do your thoughts go? Just naturally, where do your thoughts flow? That tells you what is the level of your consciousness, right? So what is our natural consciousness? Are we in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4? And based on that, we can then discuss. So we look at each of these quadrants, right? Each of these sectors, and there's no effort and no remembrance. What can happen? Here we are spending time on activities of bhakti, but there is no endeavor to remember Krishna or to clean our heart of anarthas. So, this is like when you're chanting, but you're chanting inattentively. You're creating bhoga for the Lord, but your mind is elsewhere. You're listening to some video, or you're doing something else. You're just getting over with the bhoga. Quickly offer, I'm hungry. So this kind of bhakti, what effect can it have? What effect can this kind of a bhakti have? Anybody would like to share? When we do this kind of bhakti, what effect can it have on us? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I attempt?
Yeah.
So I think our consciousness will remain at the same level. It will not be.
Okay. Consciousness will remain same level. Anybody else? Anybody else? So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes, Jai Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, but
It's almost like as Vishnu Prabhuji mentioned. But if we are not careful, like it even gives us like it will present us a chance to reduce our seva levels.
absolutely. So, Srila Prabhupada says bhakti is like a slope, upward slope. And if we are not going upwards, we will come downwards. So it's very clear. Prabhupada tells us that don't think that, there's a steady state. There's no steady state. You have to either be going up or you're coming down, because slope you can't stand in one place. Naturally, the force will bring you down. The gravity will pull you down. So in the same way, in bhakti, if we are not doing our activities with an intense effort to remember Krishna and to please the Lord or to please the Vaishnavas, we're not doing with that consciousness, we can easily slip into tamogun. We can slip into tamogun, right? We can start sleeping. We can start reading newspapers or watching our latest notifications on our mobile phone or WhatsApp, or watching videos, and all that tamogun can start if we are not consciously aware of what activity we're doing and what for we're doing. For what we're doing this bhakti, for whose pleasure we're doing, for whose purpose. You're spending anyway 1.5, 2 hours on your bhakti. Why not do it properly, no? Right? So those of us who are in category 1, beware. The fall down is not far away. So we have to be very careful that if you're chanting like that, even if you have years and years of bhakti behind you, if we are not careful, if we're not careful about following the principles, Krishna can, see, today, let me give you an analogy, that there is a gardener, okay? There is a gardener, and that gardener is pouring water on plants, okay? He's pouring water on plants. Now, who is nourishing the plants? Is it the water or is it the gardener? Gardener is only an instrument. It is the water that is nourishing the plants, right? If municipality decides to stop water supply to your house because you're not paying the bill, you're not paying the price that is needed for that water, the municipality decides to stop all water supply, what will happen? How much you can nourish your plants? You can't do anything, right? So our bhakti lata, we are pouring water of Harinam into it. We are pouring water of reading Shrimad Bhagavatam into it. We are pouring water of deity worship into it. We are pouring water of preaching, of book distribution, of so many activities. We are pouring water into that bhakti lata. But while pouring that water, if we become proud and pompous, or we just say, I don't care about anything. I'm not willing to pay the price for this water. I'll just pour the water and that's it. If we have that attitude, at some point the municipality, the Supreme Lord, he decides that enough is enough and he just shuts off the water. And you'll be chanting and you'll feel that beadbag is very heavy in your hands. You'll not be able to chant. Deity worship will feel like a burden. Reading Prabhupada's books will feel like a burden. You'll not be able to do it. So be very, very careful that when we are doing our activities, we have to do it sincerely. Otherwise, you can fall down into tamogun. Okay, that is category 1. Now, if you look at the category 2, where there is high effort, but still no remembrance of Krishna. Okay, this can be devotees who are doing, activities, bhakti and rajogun. Who are doing the activities, very, very hard work is there, a lot of effort is going in. They are chanting, they are, doing various services in the temple, they're in the limelight, so many activities are going on, but still no remembrance of Krishna. There is no dependence on Krishna. like if you're driving a car, okay, let's do a quick 1 minute quick answer. Whoever wants to answer, just answer quickly. Just unmute, answer, and mute yourself again. Suppose you're driving a car on the highway, okay, and suddenly your car breaks down. What will you do?
Call the mechanic.
Call the mechanic. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything else?
Anything else? Check the problem ourselves.
Check the problem myself.
Check
Okay.
the problem myself. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Hey, everyone, if it's possible, please keep your video on, because that's the only way I can know that you all are actually listening. Otherwise, you could be doing that's what we're talking. This is the activity zone 1, where you're attending the lecture, but you're not there. So don't be in zone 1. Let's try to be at least in zone 2, if not zone 3, right? Okay, yeah. So what else, right? When your car breaks down the highway, what else can you do? One is you check it out yourself. Second, you call a mechanic. What else can we do?
Leave the car there and take a taxi and go to your
Leave
destination.
the car there and take a taxi, right? So the point is that this is what all of us end up doing. Okay, we are category 1 and category 2. Category 1 will say ki, why should I do anything? Let the mechanic come, let him repair, let him do everything. Another category could be that, well, I'll just leave it here. I'll take a cab, I'll take a Uber, and I'll go home. Another category could be that, no, let me try first. Let me try to first, open up, and if you know something about cars, then you'll tinker with the engine, you'll see carburetor, vagara vagara, and you may still not succeed. Then you call the mechanic, right? But as Vaishnavas, there's one very important thing. What would a Vaishnava do? A category 3 Vaishnava, okay, would also pray to Krishna. He'll call the mechanic. He first, when the car breaks down, from his mouth, what will come? Oh, Krishna, what happened now? Right? He'll say like, oh, Krishna, what happened? And then after that, he will call the mechanic and he'll pray to the Lord. My Lord, please protect me, help me to be in good consciousness. This is going to be a tough period now till the mechanic comes. Help me to be in good. And he'll continue chanting. He'll chant there, sitting there. He'll chant his rounds. He'll not get panicked. He'll chant his rounds, right? So our problem, okay, when we are in category 2, our problem is what? Our problem is that we are unable to remember Krishna. We may be doing activities. Even the process of bhakti, we may be doing so many things. But our remembrance of Krishna, or even more so, our dependence on Krishna. Dependence is a higher level. First is remember, no? I remember that, so and so is there. That is one remembrance. Higher than that is dependence, that, my Lord, I leave it to you. You do. I'll do my best, but I leave the result to you. You want me to suffer? Somebody raise the hand. Yes. Who is this? Galaxy S21?
Yes, it's Jyoti.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, this is category 3, which you say. The third category will chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
The thing happens, but it happened with the panic. Oh God, this is a problem now. Hare Krishna, help me. But the panic is always there. It is not like the panic is not there and we are saying, Hare Krishna, let this situation be, this is going to be hard, but give us patience and let us solve this problem.
Yeah.
It is on the other way around. We remember, but because we are in panic, that this situation came now.
Yeah. So that is also, see, Mataji, point is that, even as Vaishnavas who are chanting 16 rounds daily, okay, daily we are chanting 16 rounds, maybe some are chanting 4, 12, 16, whatever, right? Even devotees who are chanting 16 rounds daily, we have to question ourselves. No, sometime we have to wake up. No, what is my remembrance of Krishna? How much am I remembering Krishna? How much am I depending on him? When I'm chanting 16 rounds, I'm spending 1.5, 2 hours on chanting. I'm not remembering him. I'm just going through the motion, but I'm not remembering him. I'm not depending on Krishna. So even if we panic, right, when a problem hits us, we panic. But do we only panic and then does the what do you say, fight, fright, and flight response kick in? And before that kicks in, do we remember Krishna? Do we depend on the Lord? My Lord, I'll do my best, but you are the boss. You do what is appropriate, right? That's the point I'm making. That we don't have that when you're in category 1 and 2. Even if you try, you find it difficult to remember Krishna, right? So that is the quadrant 2. Now the quadrant 3, okay, is the best place to be as Vaishnavas, as sadhakas especially, right? We are sadhakas. Here what is happening? Here we are making efforts to remember Krishna. We are making efforts to depend on Krishna, and we are able to remember Krishna. This is the best part, right? Because one thing is that when we are chanting, we are trying hard, but you're not able to capture Krishna. Krishna is very difficult to capture. But what if, by the grace of the Lord, suddenly he appears on our mind? There is this Hindi bhajan that is sung by the Brajvasis. Mere man mandir mein ek baar to आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी, मेरे मन मंदिर में एक बार तो आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी, गिरिधारी बनवारी, गिरिधारी बनवारी, मनमोहन कुंज बिहारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी. So this devotee is singing, मेरे मन मंदिर में एक बार तो आ जाओ गिरिधारी. At least once, my Lord, at least once in my mind, come and reside there. एक बार आ जाओ गिरिधारी, मनमोहन कुंज बिहारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी. Just come once, my Lord, right? Our situation is we don't even want this. We don't even want it. We don't even want Krishna to come and reside in our heart. We put a hand on our heart and say that, do you want Krishna right now? Krishna to come and reside in your heart and take away everything else. He is Hari. He can take everything else. All your lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion, all your attachments, all your wealth, all your knowledge, your whatever you are proud of in this world. 1 second he can take it away. Do you want that? Do you really? So this is what we have to think about, right? That at least we should have that aspiration, know that Krishna at least once come and reside in my mind. Let me remember you. Let me remember you without remembering anything else. We do remember Krishna. We do chant his holy names. We do, he does. We do become conscious when we are chanting. But we know we're not there. We know we're not there. But sometimes in the process of chanting, however badly you've been chanting, okay, however many bad habits you may have accumulated in your japa, in your sadhana, whatever sadhana you're doing, however many bad habits you have accumulated, once if you make a sincere effort, sankalp, you make a sankalp that today I will chant nicely. Again, all the videos are off, by the way. I don't know why, but that's okay. I'll leave it to you people. So once if make the sankalp that I will chant properly, come what may, today I will chant nicely. Immediately the Lord is so merciful. By the mercy of Panchatattva, we chant their names before we start. By the mercy of Panchatattva, you will get a small, it's like when you're in the Dubai heat or in the, in the Middle East heat, someone just takes a little water, the arghya water, and sprinkles it on your face. It's a nice feeling, right? Those few drops, Krishna gives us that. Why? So that we realize this is not all some mumbo jumbo, some, phantasmagoria, some fantasy given to us by Srila Prabhupada. No, it's real. Holy name is real. Krishna is there in the holy name. If we chant with attention, we can feel his presence. For that microsecond, we'll feel it. But you'll feel it. So, for a devotee who comes to quadrant 3, okay, they are still struggling. They have to make an effort to remember Krishna. But when they make that effort, Krishna manifests. Krishna is there. You can feel his presence in the holy name. When you are worshipping deities, you will be worshipping deities every day. But we don't have full faith that this is Krishna, Sakshat Vrajendra Nandana. You're not some putla, you're not some statue or idol. You're the Supreme Lord. We don't have that faith. But if we chant, if we worship with faith daily, very sincerely we do, at some point you will feel reciprocation with your deities. You will feel. That's how it works. You ask the devotees who are doing worship in the temple, Radha, our Radha Gopinath temple. There are people who have been doing deity worship now for 30 years, 35 years. Deities came in 1988, so 34 years. Every Thursday, every Friday, without fail for 34 years. Try telling them, Prabhu, you have done for enough time now. Now you should give others, a chance. Try telling them. They'll say, Prabhu, you can take my life, you can take all my property. But this seva, sorry, I don't want to give up till I die. That much attachment is there. How it came? How that attachment came? Because they have moved to that third zone. They have gone from second into third zone. They are able to experience Krishna. When they actually, of all the sevas that we do, I'll talk about it later as well. Deity worship is one of the very powerful, services, devotional service, where it is very difficult to be distracted. When chanting, easy to be distracted. When you are listening to lecture, very easy. Video off karo, switch off video and do what you are doing. Sorry, I'm not an indication on any of you, but I'm just saying it's very easy to be distracted. There's no problem at all. Comfortably, you can keep your video off and you can be writing code in your laptop. Kisne dekha, right? But when you're doing deity worship, it's very difficult to be distracted because there's so many things to be done at the same time. You're cleaning the achaman, you're doing achaman, you're cleaning the the diya patra, you are ringing the bell, you're chanting mantras, and you're rotating 4 times lotus feet, 2 times navel, 2 to 3 times face, 7 times full body. It's very difficult to be distracted at that time. Your mind is fully focused on the service, right? But yeah, those who are doing these kind of services in the quadrant 3, for them, they're making an effort, and Krishna starts reciprocating with that effort. Man mandir mein aa jate hain. He comes into that man mandir, and he's there. He's available, to inspire us, to give us nourishment, to give us that, we get that, like we say, right? Adho shraddha sadhu sang bhajana kriya anartha nivritti syad nishtha tatha ruchi. That taste, that very elusive taste that we are all aspiring for. Someday that rasa has to come, into the chanting, into that seva that you're doing. That taste Krishna starts giving. When you're in the quadrant 3, you're making effort, and Krishna is giving you that remembrance. You start depending on Krishna. And this is where we find the nectar of Krishna consciousness, right? So Krishna consciousness is not just some dreary, boring, very repetitive. No, everywhere. In fact, there's another lecture I give, which is on variety in Krishna consciousness. Maybe next time I can talk about that. Someone can remind me. Variety in Krishna consciousness. There's so much variety in Krishna consciousness. It's not a boring thing. Every day your chanting is different. That itself is variety. Even if you are trying to chant very attentively every day, Every day you'll see your experience is different. Amazing, isn't it? So Krishna can reciprocate with anyone in million different ways, right? We should not lose faith in that point that Krishna is Rasaraj. So the real nectar of Krishna consciousness we start tasting in this quadrant 3, where the Lord starts giving us some taste. He gives us remembrance. When we are chanting, we are able to experience, oh, this is Krishna. I am getting association of the Supreme Lord. When we are cooking for the Lord, we are remembering that, my Lord, I'm cooking for you, for your pleasure. I hope this is of satisfaction to you. I am so insignificant. I am a मैं ठहरा एक भिखारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरधारी, and I am like a beggar. What I can give you, my Lord, what I have to give you, I have nothing. I'm useless. I'm a beggar, but still I have this aspiration, my Lord, that I want to serve. I am useless, I am beggar, I have no facility, no bhakti, I have nothing, but still I have a desire to serve you, my Lord. So someone who is serving like that, Lord reciprocates. Lord loves such things. And if we are situated here for long enough, where we are making efforts and we are remembering Krishna, ultimately Krishna comes and picks us up from where we are in quadrant 3 and puts us into quadrant 4. Right? Ultimately, when we come to quadrant 4, what is happening? Here, there is a full dependence on Krishna's mercy. Here, there is no effort. Full dependence, without any effort, without even trying. Such devotees, these are the pure devotees, right? These are the devotees who are already back to Godhead. They're already gone. It's just, as they say, in Hindi, there is a saying, कि एक पैर कब्र में, दूसरा पैर केले के छिलके पे. We say in Hindi, colloquial Hindi. That means one foot is already in the grave and the other foot is on a banana skin. It's any time going to slip and second leg will also fall into the grave, right? So those who are devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, they are like that. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned somewhere in the first canto. Some verses there, I forget. Where they're saying that you're a pure devotee means you've already gone back to God, you're already liberated. There's no question of you aspiring for liberation. It's already there. It's already it's part of the menu. You don't have to worry about it. ये तो आपको मिलने ही वाला है. It's like if you're eating a thali in a restaurant. You're eating like a big, those big thali, Rajasthani thali or something. You're eating in that. You don't have to say, will I get rotis also? Will I get a sweet also? You don't have to ask. It's all there. Understood, right? So like that, for these devotees who are pure devotees, they are completely surrendered. They are already liberated. They're just here for some time, that's all, to give us their association. While they are here, take their association, right? They are in Q4, quadrant 4. And this quadrant 4 can happen only by the grace of the Lord. This can't happen by your efforts. By your efforts, you can't come to a point where effortlessly you remember Krishna. You understand? By your efforts, you can remember Krishna. That also requires the grace and blessings of the Lord and the Vaishnavas. To come from quadrant 2 to 3, you need the blessings of the Lord. But even with the grace and blessings of the Vaishnavas, we can't come to quadrant 4 unless the Lord brings us there. Lord's mercy takes us from quadrant 3 and puts us in quadrant 4. Everyone clear about this? All right. So in this quadrant, right, like, can you think of a situation where you can be in quadrant 4? Anybody? Where you are effortlessly able to remember Krishna. There is no effort. It just comes naturally. Anybody?
Looks
So,
difficult only.
sorry, yeah.
Looks difficult only.
Yeah, so it's not really that difficult. Imagine you're on a flight. Okay? You're on a flight and it's 35,000 feet in the air. And the pilot says, I regret to inform you both our engines have failed, and now we are going to crash. Okay, at that time, which quadrant will you be in? Very effortlessly will be in quadrant 4. There is no effort to remember Krishna. You will be desperately chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. No effort. Very easily you're able to chant the holy names at that time, right? We don't want to be in that situation to reach quadrant 4. We want to reach quadrant 3 by our sincere efforts, by the blessings of the Vaishnavas. We want to get there. And once we get there, then it is the Lord's prerogative. Lord will decide how he, how he moves us from quadrant 3 to quadrant 4. At what point in our journey, our spiritual journey, he decides, chalo, theek hai. Done. This person has done enough sadhana. Now let us give him the fruits. Let's give him or her the fruits of what sincere sadhana they have done, right? So going from this Q1 to Q2, okay, the quadrant 1 to Q2, okay, no effort to effort. How does this happen? This happens by your effort, right? By consciously adding intensity and effort to our activities of remembering Krishna. You're chanting Harinam, be conscious of the holy name, right? You're reading, read consciously. So what are the activities that we can do to go from Q1 to Q2? You have to basically intensify. Start adding effort where it doesn't exist. Start making effort. Start doing your Krishna conscious activities with effort. Put your energy into it. You're attending a lecture, be there. Be there. Don't do anything else. Just don't multitask. You're chanting Harinam, be there. Chant like there is no tomorrow. Your flight is about to crash. Chant like that. Add intensity. This intensity, this effort also, we need constant association of devotees. Without that, it is not possible. On your own, it is very difficult for a person to suddenly go from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. If you have been languishing there, you have been living in that quadrant for many months, many years, suddenly to go into quadrant 2 becomes very tough. It's not such an easy thing, right? You have to really struggle for it. Therefore, we need the association of devotees, because this is devotees who will come to us and tell us, hey, Prabhu, what's going on? I don't see you nowadays. You don't attend the lecture. What happened? Very busy. That someone will come and push you. Someone will tell you, Prabhu, you have time? No, Prabhu, I'm very busy. Come on, you can spare some time. I'll give you this service, right? Devotees are the ones who will push us, who will give us that, impetus to push ourselves, to take our level higher, to take our consciousness higher. So Q1 to Q2 requires the association of devotees, and even to go from Q2 to Q3, we need association of devotees. If we don't have constant association of devotees, we will not be able to, enhance our consciousness. We'll not be able to intensify our efforts. We need the grace of the Lord. We need the grace of Vaishnavas. But one most important ingredient is what? You should want it. If you don't want it, as they say, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still, right? Radha Gopinath Prabhu always says, it's a very nice one. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. His opinion doesn't change. Like, for example, I may throw 100 brilliant arguments about why you need to move from zone 1 to zone 2, Prabhu, and zone 2 to zone 3. I may throw 100 arguments. But if you don't have the will, hey, Prabhu, I am all right. This is what I can do. This is Kali Yuga. You have to understand, Prabhu. Kali Yuga means like this only it is. We will chant while watching Netflix. This is how it is. If we accept it, our will is like that. Man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Nothing will change. So most important ingredient, we have to have a desire that I want to change. I want to enhance. I want to go to that point where I will remember Krishna. I don't want to do my activities as a tick mark, as a ritual. I want to go beyond that. I want to make it spiritual, from ritual to spiritual. Right? So how can we, what are the things that we can do to make this move, from Q1 to Q2 or Q2 to Q3? And what are the things we can do? I'll just share 2-3 points. But actually, why not make it interactive? Anyone would like to share that we are doing our sadhana, but we want to go from Q1 to Q2 or Q2 to Q3? What could we do? Anybody would like to share?
Increase intensity of chanting.
Increase intensity of chanting. Yes, very good. What else?
Hare Krishna. Would you like, we are going to temple to have darshan, say if you are going to Mangala or any other arti. So people are not participating with their heart, they are singing also with their mouth, just bubbling the words.
Mumbling.
So they should means with their full heart, or at least they should take with full means it should be a wholehearted effort to participate in. So that
Very
would
nice.
be
Wholehearted. Your heart should be there in. Yeah. Okay. What else?
We should feel Krishna as our own.
We should feel Krishna as our
Own brother or father.
Wow, very nice. So that is like, again, trying to build a personal relationship with Krishna when you're doing your activity, trying to, connect to Krishna in some rasa. Very nice. Okay, what else? So, couple of things, right? See, one, like Prabhuji said, intensity. Whatever we are doing in bhakti, we need to do it with intensity. You may say, it's not practical, Prabhu. You can't be intense all the time. Why not? Why not? When we're eating, are we not intense? With great intensity, we are attacking our food. What intensity we have? It goes on for half an hour, 45 minutes without any effort. Right? When you are watching something on TV, aren't we intense? You're watching a sports event, it goes on for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. 5 days, test match. Full intensity. Ekdam. So why can't we be intense for those 2 hours we are chanting? For that half an hour we are doing our arti. For that, 1 hour that we are hearing Bhagavatam lectures. Why can't we be intense? What is stopping us? So we should be intense. Okay. Second, another way to go from quadrant 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 is praying to the Lord. This is very important, right? Like I said, even the mechanic example, the car example, you have to make your efforts. You have to be intense. But we have to realize that we are a very small player in this whole game. The whole game is being played by the Lord. So if the Lord decides, he can bump us from quadrant 1 to 3 direct, not 1 to 2, 1 to 3 direct, straight. Right? That's his wish. He is Abhigya Swaraj. We can't question his will. He may decide to bump us from 2 back to 1 also, if we are doing offenses to Vaishnavas. Right? But be very careful. You do your bhakti with intensity, with quality, with ahaituki apratihata. Do your bhakti like that, and then depend that Krishna whenever you want. But if we pray to the Lord that my Lord, ek baar to aa jao girdhari, my Lord, please give me an opportunity to serve you with a pure heart. Give me an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas in a pleasing manner. Let me please them by my service. Right? So pray to the Lord so that we may remember him while we are doing our activities. Another thing, intensity is one thing that, like little bit of, rajagun there, but being conscious, being present, being present when we are doing what we are doing, right? When we are chanting, when we're hearing, connecting to Krishna in the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When we're chanting, can we connect to Krishna in the holy name? Can we, take it level by level higher? Okay, one level of chanting is where we are not chanting even clearly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is one level of chanting. What is the higher level? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you have gone from 0 to 1. 1 is what? At least clear pronunciation is there, Baba. At least that much is there. Right? What is higher than this? Blocking out your senses. We know that while chanting, our eyes keep disturbing us. We keep looking at this, look at that, this, that, other, so many things we look at. Can we close our eyes? Can we block out the eyes? That close your eyes and just focus on hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Can we do that? Or if that doesn't work, some of us are in Tamogun. Moment we close our eyes, we start falling asleep. We are chanting very intensely. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Ram. So I've seen, devotees are like that. Very intensely they chant. They still Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then they fall asleep for like 15 seconds. And then when they wake up, the super soul reminds them, you were on Hare Ram, Hare Ram. They continue from there. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Right? So if you have a tendency to fall asleep, then sit in front of the deities and chant. You have deities at home, sit in front of the deities. Sit in front of holy name. If you've written down the holy name somewhere, sit in front of that. Harinam Prabhu, sit in front of holy name and chant, right? Basically, what are we doing? We're becoming more conscious. We are trying to focus our energy. Take it away from all the nonsense our mind and our senses are taking us to. Focus it on the holy name. Focus it on Krishna. Then, when you're cooking, so this is one thing. So first is chanting clearly, sitting straight, trying to block out other senses, then being conscious that this is Krishna. This is holy name. This holy name is non-different than Krishna. I am associating with the Supreme Lord right now. Trying to bring yourself into that mood that, I am now going to chant with Krishna. I'm not chanting Krishna's names. I'm chanting with Krishna. I'm going to be in his association for the next 2 hours, right? That kind of consciousness. And then higher than that is constantly remembering this. Higher than that is crying out to Krishna that, my Lord, please engage me in your service with full awareness. So, there's a whole gulf there, which we have to cross, right? There's so much activity still remaining for us, so much a long journey to cross. But the beginning is what? I want to move from quadrant 1 to 2 at least. Let me at least start making these efforts. Let me try. When Krishna will reciprocate, we can't say. He will reciprocate when he wants to. Till then, we have to keep trying. Right? We have to show the Lord that I genuinely want your mercy. I genuinely want you to come and reside in my heart. Like that. Similarly, I spoke about deity worship. Deity worship forces us to be continuously conscious of Krishna while doing the service. So it's a beautiful service. If you want to move from quadrant 1 to 2, you don't have deities at home, get them. Of course, consult with some senior devotees, Vaishnavas, your counselors, your guides, your Shiksha Gurus, your Diksha Guru. Take their blessings, take their permission, then bring. But if you're worshipping Grihasthas, worshipping deities, it's a powerful way to remember Krishna. And if we are sincere in our practice of bhakti like this, with consciousness, with praying to the Lord, doing all the activities with intensity, if we do like this, by the grace, as Radhesham Prabhu said, as Jananivas Prabhu said, you are surrendering. Then you're moved from that struggle to a place of surrender, where now you are just doing it for the pleasure of the pleasure of the Lord, pleasure of Vaishnavas. If we are acting on that platform, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada and the Supreme Lord Krishna, we will ultimately glide from Q2 to Q3 and Q3 to Q4 for longer and longer periods. Today, sometimes, rarely, we may be in Q4 for a second. Suddenly, Krishna just enters our memory. We're dreaming, we're sleeping, and suddenly Krishna comes in our dream. We see our deities, we see something. We see Gurudev, something we see, right? But longer and longer periods, you will have, you are effortlessly able to remember Krishna. Till that point, it is a struggle. But if we change our consciousness from struggle to surrender, take shelter of the process, take shelter of the instructions of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, take shelter of the Vaishnavas, then the process becomes blissful and our path back to Godhead becomes very sweet. It's not an effort, it's very sweet. You experience Krishna at every moment. Swadu, Swadu, Pade Pade. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Any questions or comments anybody has before we end?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned that deity service is a powerful service for grahasthas. But some like from time to time, as you rightly mentioned, it becomes a struggle. Like, because as we have deities, we have to attend to them. Like, we have to, like, there are certain times we have to attend to them. We have to do the arati, all those. So is that due to the lack of taste? Because like the biggest challenge is getting or finding time.
Yeah. So I can't see. There's an echo coming. Sorry. Yeah. So like you said, in deity worship, the biggest struggle is finding time. Okay. There's an echo coming. Somebody is unmuted, I think. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So in bhakti, the biggest challenge actually is not finding time. Okay, it's about finding priority. It's about finding intent. Because if we genuinely want to do something, we will find a way to do it. Right? It's not a struggle. It's very natural. Like taking care of our children, taking care of our body, drinking water, eating food, sleeping. These are activities, no matter how busy we are, we will find time to do them. Deity worship, see, I can't speak about deity worship. I myself don't do much, right? Because at my home, it's my father who does all the deity worship. I don't do anything. So I don't have any realizations per se. But this much I can definitely say that deity worship, if you do it daily, it becomes a habit. It becomes part of your life, So when you're doing it, don't do it with that consciousness that, yeah, I have to somehow do it now, I don't have time, I'm busy. If you're very busy on a given day, do a short arti. If you have time, do the full arti, right? But do something for the Lord, do something for the pleasure of your deities, and that will keep you in good consciousness, right? The Lord is the Lord knows everything. He knows how busy we are and how distracted we are also. He knows that. So therefore, uh, do it as a service. Do it as a service. Even when chanting, we have the same problem, right? We feel that I am busy, I don't have time, but somehow, okay, I've given a commitment. Therefore I'll do it. Right? But yeah, I remember once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj had mentioned in a lecture. That lecture had a big impact on me. This is before I came to Bhakti. This particular lecture, I was standing at the back of a temple hall, and I was not in Bhakti at that time, but I had come to the temple, and Kirtan was going on. I was standing at the back of the hall, with great resistance on my face. And I somehow raised my hands in the kirtan. I was like, after the kirtan was over, I was thinking like, what am I doing here? This is not me. I'm not getting any pleasure in this. I'm not enjoying this. I will not come back. I'm not coming back to this temple again. I decided that. And then in the lecture, which was immediately after the kirtan, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj in the lecture said, sometimes in the kirtan, we raise our arms and we think, what am I doing? What is this? What is this arms? We think that I'm not getting any taste out of this. Why am I doing this? And I'm like, oh God, did he read my mind? I got very psyched by those things. Did he read my mind or something? Why is he saying this? And he said that you may feel no taste in what you're doing. You feel that I should not come back here. He said, however, we are not doing the activities of Krishna consciousness for our pleasure. We are doing it for Krishna's pleasure. We are doing it for the Vaishnava's pleasure. We are doing it for Guru's pleasure. If we do it for them, for their pleasure, then our pleasure becomes secondary. Do it for the pleasure of Krishna. So then, if you are doing with that consciousness that, my Lord, I want to please you, I'll do my best. Within whatever time is available, within what resources I have, I will try to do. There is that story that Prabhupada gives in Bhagavatam, where Prahlad Maharaj talks about the 9 processes. In Archanam, he gives that story of that Brahmana who did Manasa Puja. In his mind, he was worshipping the Lord with golden vessels. He was a beggar, pauper, he had no money. But in his mind, he used to bring water from the Godavari in golden pots, and he would do abhishek to his deities, and he would cook in silverware, and he would serve the Lord in silver plates and everything. And then one day he made nice hot kheer, and when he made that kheer, he put his finger inside to see that is it little hot. He put his hand and his finger got burnt. And in Vaikuntha, Lord Vishnu started laughing. And Lakshmi Devi is asking, my Lord, why are you laughing? He said, this is what happened. This person, imaginary kheer, he put his hand and his hand got burnt. See the intensity of his bhakti. Right? So, even if you have nothing, you can worship the Lord. Even if you have everything, you cannot worship the Lord. Both are possible. It's about the intent. It's about the intent that we bring to our bhakti. With that intent, if we chant, we worship deities, the Lord will accept that intent. You do your best to please the Lord and the Vaishnavas. Let the Lord take care when they give you taste, when God gives you taste, when He gives you remembrance, when He gives you surrender or dependence. When He gives you, that is up to Him. Till that point, we have to just keep going. All right?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Any other last 2 minutes?
Hare Krishna, I'll take those 2 minutes. Thank you. So just my observation, because whatever means you very nicely explained. So my obeisances unto you, because a great class as usual, and it is a mind-boggling class, I would say once again, because it wakes you up, and you say that you are still in frame 1, so at least go to frame 2. So 3-4 observations, like you made a point about that your car got stuck or it broke down. So 3 days back, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj underwent a angioplasty process.
Yeah.
So it was delayed by an hour. So he was calmly chanting. So that makes that, yes, if it is delayed, so there was no tension on his face or there was anxiety. So as you had told that when car is broke down, what you should do is to pray also. So that is what. So that is the one point which I could relate to, and the second point about deity worship I could relate to is that one of temple commander here, His Grace Radha Kund Prabhu is from, he's a brahmachari from Malaysia. So he does once in a week, he does Mangala Arati worship, deity worship. So I was talking to him, he said that this one day worship, he gets a chance, it keeps me energized for the whole week. And for the next day itself, I keep waiting that when my chance will come. So that's what, because that's the relation which, of course, we don't have, but I have heard from him. So, And thirdly, which means you mentioned that how if one is in a hopeless position, he remembers the Lord. So in the year 2000, we were traveling from Afghanistan to India, from Kabul to India. So that time there are a lot of insurgency was also there, and we heard that all these planes, they were useless in India, so they have gifted to Afghanistan. So when this plane took off from Kabul, so after 1 hour hovering on this thing, this captain announced that there is some technical issue. So we have to. So that time everybody was praying. So the intensity was there. Yes, maybe somebody is a Christian or Muslim. So everybody was so intensely praying because they knew that anything can happen. So that point also very nicely was made. And the fourth point is how we get immersed. That one, His Grace Sarvam Prabhu is in his class. He used to give one point that when we go to cinema hall, so we even forget who is sitting next to us. Even if we go with our brother, friend, or wife, sometimes we are so absorbed in watching this cinema, so that we forget to say that intensity is there in our material, things what we do. So I think if we bring a little bit of that intensity in our spiritual things also, it will definitely makes us to go to from 1 to 2 or even up to 3. So those are the takes from your class, and we are very, very grateful for your time, and thank you so much once again. And I hope that in the next time we'll hear from you on variety in Krishna consciousness. That will also be, I think, going to be a great topic and a very interesting topic. And
Hare
thank you
Krishna.
once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all once more for giving me this opportunity to serve you. Very grateful.
Serve you, very grateful.
Hare Krishna.